If there's one thing that I'm jealous that video game characters have, is that they've got background music to listen to when they go through their day-to-day lives. Imagine how much more pleasant life would be for us if we had that kind of thing. Though it might get repetitive really fast if you listen to the same song over and over again, but I digress. Greetings all, it's Blue Knight, and welcome back to Persona 3 FES. Previously, we went to Fashion Club and learned that Baby's aunt passed away recently, so he's not in the best of spirits right now. He'll need some time to grieve about that, but hopefully we'll be able to support him through that rough time. Plus, we were hanging with Chihiro, and we've got a sense of just how much he values our friendship, or I guess relationship rather, since we're on the verge of her being our first actual girlfriend. Today, we're gonna head into Tartarus since it is Saturday, and with Fuka now recently recruited to the group, she'll be a much better asset in the supporting role rather than Mitsuru, because Mitsuru's persona, as we heard from Akihiko, is more battle-oriented, so we'll be seeing Mitsuru herself on the front lines for the first time as well. But with those changes in our party now taking effect, that doesn't mean that our time at Tartarus is going to be that much easier. It's still going to be quite the challenge to go through the labyrinth, but I'm sure we're more than up to the task in order to do so. So since we have more than 4 members in the active party now, we'll have the option to select which party members that we can take with us. We can only take a maximum of 3, so our party will have a maximum of 4. I think that's pretty standard in RPGs, to be very honest. Having that party of 4 in your little team as you're going on the field. So Fuka will be taking Mitsuru's spot from now on. Now, who to take with us? I'm actually going to speak to Fuka to see where everyone stands at this point. Okay, so Yukari is at level 13. Oh, Mitsuru's in great condition, so that's all the more reason for us to take Mitsuru along. Junpei's at level 15, was it? Yeah, and Aki's at level 16. So I think I will take Mitsuru, Akihiko, or probably Junpei actually. Yeah, I'll take Yukari, Junpei, and Mitsuru along. Since I want Yukari to catch up in levels, since she's the lowest level in the team right now. And I'm pretty sure Akihiko won't be able to miss out on that much. So that's why I'm taking those two along. And Mitsuru, of course, she's in great condition. I'm not going to pass that up. Now for the task of changing everyone's equipment. And I think that's going to take a lot longer than just selecting the party members. So I'm going to need a minute. So excuse me. So this is where everyone stands in terms of their equipment set. Starting with me, the only thing I got was the bulletproof shirt from Akihiko. I figured I'd get this on myself since the higher amount of defense will help me out, and Aki's not going to be active in the field for the time being. But I did give him something else that's, while not as good, will probably help him out regardless. So some things have changed with Junpei since last time. I did give him the spike bat we got from one of the requests recently since it has triple digits in attack power. And I think it might have a low crit rate as well. I might be thinking about this weapon in the portable version, but regardless, this will be a very, very good weapon for Junpei to have, since he's now got the same amount of attack power as Yukari does. I also gave him our newly acquired lab badge that we got from a request as well. This will restore a tiny bit of HP every turn. I gave this to him because Junpei's the only one on the team that doesn't have a healing skill right now. Come to think of it, I don't think he ever learns a healing skill at all. So I figured this would be the closest thing he'll get to gain actual Dia skill. Plus, it might actually prevent him from dying a lot, since that seems to happen with me whenever I have him in my party in past playthroughs. So I'm doing this as a bit of a precautionary measure. The only thing that's changed about Yukari is that I gave her some inline skates, because the effect this has is Evade Elect Medium. While this may not be a perfect solution to her electricity weakness, I figured it will still help her out regardless. For Mitsuru, I'm giving her the all-purpose apron since I've been holding on to that for God knows how long, so it's gonna help her out with defense. I also gave her some leather boots because this pair has an evade fire rate, albeit it's low. I figured it will help her out in some small way. Which will bring me to Mitsuru's persona, Penthesilea. Like with Fuka, she was able to analyze enemies and get enemy info, but it's more battle-oriented, as we can see. Penthesilea masters in ice skill, so she will be our ice user, but it is also weak to fire, hence why I gave her the leather boots. I want to try and get Penthesilea to learn Bufula as soon as possible. Bufu and Mabufu are pretty good right now, but it always helps to have a stronger version of one of those attacks. So that's gonna be one of the goals I'll be working towards as we have Mitsuru in our party. We may not be able to get it this time around, but if I'm diligent enough, I might be able to get close. Even though we're not bringing Akihiko along, I still decided to give him some equipment changes as well. I give him the rash guard that I had previously, just as kind of a placeholder since I have nothing else that will work right now. Actually, scratch that. Let's give him the camo shirt. It will resist ice, albeit it's low, so it won't completely help him with his ice weakness outright. It's still gonna be better than nothing. So we'll give him the camo shirt, as well as the rugged Geta, since it has evade ice as well. Despite the fact it has less evasion rate than the previous pair he had, I still think it might help him out with his ice weakness. And with all that organizing done, I think it's time we tackle the next section of Tartarus. So let's approach the blockade and wait for it to part ways. And now with our party in tow, let's head on to the next section. And if you thought that meant we were going to the next block, well, you'd be wrong. We're actually not done with Arca yet. This block is divided into two sections, and apparently the next big shadow will be on the 50th floor. So Fuka's persona Lucia is already paying off big time, where it will take Mitsuru some time to get a clear location on what floor the next Tartarus Guardian would lie. Fuka was able to detect it outright, so we already see a massive improvement in terms of our support role that Fuka has. Oh, look at this! I totally forgot that I also had Jack Frost in my arsenal too. So with the two Jack brothers together, we can now use the pyro skill, well, Jack Brothers. All the while we'll get Fuka to try and analyze this new enemy of the Arca section, at least the second Arca section, the Haughty Maya. I think that's what it's called. Let's switch up to... Okay, I have Jack Frost on. So, while we're at it, let's do the Jack Brothers fusion skill. This is required to do for a request, so it's very convenient that I'm actually getting to do this right now. And only took down one Maya. Oh well. At least that's the effect that Jack Brothers could potentially have. Is it has medium odds of knocking down all foes, but we only did with one. At least we found out the weakness to the Haughty Maya already. Wow, level 20. This might end up being a bit more of a hazard if I'm not too careful. And Mitsuru already using Penthesilea in action off the get-go. Nice. Okay, so these guys are weak to wind. So I can use Nikki Mitama since I think that has a Garu skill. Plus I'll need to work on trying to earn that Medea skill as well. So this will be killing two birds with one stone. So we'll use Garu and use it on these Haughty Mayas. Hopefully I won't miss any of these guys. Just as I say that, I missed. At least Yukari will be able to follow up thanks to Io. And Yukari's smart. She'll be able to knock down all these enemies. Good girl, Yukari. You didn't go for any of the down bias with your bow. That's what I was worried about. So as we can see, Mitsuru also specializes in using one-handed swords, like we can do as our main weapon. So that's the category that Mitsuru will be specializing in terms of weaponry, so be sure to keep that in mind as well. which means that her melee attack will be slash based. I believe that her default weapon that she has, the Elegant Florent, I believe it's called, has an 85 attack power rate, so it's pretty good than most one-handed swords that we've come across up until this point. And now we encounter our next new enemy, the Bronze Dice. If I remember correctly, these guys might be weak to Zio. So let's test this out and hopefully I'll be right. Yes it is, the cutting came into effect, which means they are completely weak to electricity attacks. And this actually works out very well because the Bronze Dice is a target for one of Elizabeth's subjugation requests. We'll need to get 5 bronze figurines from these enemies. And I do have that request equipped. I did that off screen, so I'll be sure to show that off after this battle is through, because I did get a second request that's also a subjugation related request as well. These guys are Kill Rush and Double Fangs. I believe those are other physical attacks we haven't seen yet. I should be able to take that broadside out with the shock ability, or shock ailment to it. I'll do a Zio on this just to be safe, because I don't think I'm strong enough to take it out by hand, or by blade rather. And I was right, it was taken down for that Zio, so we'll be able to do one last all-out attack. And it is done.
The enemy's gone. Great job, guys.
Thanks, Fuka. We've been doing this for a while, so be sure to expect that from us. Also, the bronze dice are on floors 41 to 46. There we go, 2,000 yen. And we got 2 bronze figurines off of that battle. Very nice. Only 3 more to go. And true to my word, I will show off the second subjugation request that I did get. This is to get 3 snake skills from the red shadow of this section, the Lustful Snakes. And if I remember correctly, these guys are weak to ice. So we should have come across those guys as well, hopefully sometime in this section. I believe the Steel Gigas, which was the red shadow in the last section of the Arca block, are actually devoted to regular enemies now, so we'll be sure to keep an eye out for those guys, because they're still present in the Arca block as well, though they're not the red shadows anymore. Okay, this is the Sky Balance. Judging by their color scheme, I think they're weak to Agi and Bufu, so let's get, not Jack Brothers, let's get Bufu on this one. Hopefully I'm right. I thought so. They're the complete opposite of the heat balance. So they'll have the opposite effect of what the heat balance has. AoE these guys. And take them out. As always, if I do come across them and somehow get the stat screen for them available, then I'll be sure to show that off. There's a persona that we're not strong enough to wield yet. Though I'm not worried about getting that right now. Let's avoid that guy, and we'll go here. I'm pretty sure the stairs might be close soon, if I haven't passed them yet. So, the future blocks that we come across in Tartarus, they will also be divided into multiple sections too. I think some of the blocks we'll be coming across later on, they will also be divided into more than just 2 sections, so we'll have to be very careful about Tartarus going forward, since we know that the future blocks will be divided into multiple sections now. So don't think you'll just be one and done when you get to the next blockade in Tartarus. Yeah, another new enemy, this is the Phantom Master. I don't remember what these guys are weak to specifically, so we'll wait for Fuka to analyze the enemy and see what their weakness is. Just as I was about to finish that sentence, Yukari was able to find it out. It is Garu.
Last one. Don't let your guard down.
So I'm pretty sure these guys won't be that much of a hassle to handle now. So we'll play that Bufu to effect. Thank goodness she's in great condition, so she'll do much more damage than usual tonight. So we'll finish off this Phantom Master ourselves with one less Garu. There we go, we hit it this time.
What an easy win!
You said it, Fuka. It was very easy. We'll go for the experience card this time. Or not, we could get the sword card, I guess. Brass Knuckles, same thing that Akihiko has. I'll be sure to sell those off, unless they have like a different effect to it. A useful one at that. Alright, we leveled up. So we're now at level 16. Very nice.
Yes!
And we're not the only one that leveled up too. Yukari also got a level increase as well, so very nice. This is working out so far so well for us, and we're actually one step stronger to taking on the Guardian boss now. And as I mentioned before, the Steel Gigas are here, but they're just regular shadows in this section. Though they have the exact same status as we saw them last time, so they're not that hard to handle. Well, I say that actually, they're actually still pretty tough, but we know what they're weak to. We know their properties, their level status, that kind of stuff. But that doesn't make them any less easier. So while this battle's going on, I'll talk about Fuka's persona, Lucia, a little bit more. Lucia is actually based on a real person from history. She's known as the Christian patron saint of the blind. She made a choice of declaring her virginity for God, which upset her engaged fiancé. But after she refused to be burned as a sacrifice to an emperor, she was sentenced to execution. So she is now seen today as a martyr as well as a saint. Oh man, that just happened. Okay, so that's a new thing we've seen in Shovel Time. I was able to get a new persona though, Archangel. So that's one more added to the compendium. But that trick in Shuffle Time will now start appearing probably as early as this section in Arca. So when you see the cards go up, pay attention to what order that the cards go up off the screen like. So since I saw Archangel was the first card to fly up, I knew that it was going to be the first one in the lineup when the cards came back down. It took me a while to actually determine how that shuffle actually worked, but I was able to figure it out very recently. So in case if you ever see that happen during Shuffle Time, that's the way you can determine which cards are going to be in which place in the lineup when they're all finished shuffling. We found some new enemies. These are the Jealous Cupids. I don't really remember what they're weak to. So we're just gonna battle them right now and see what the analyzing says. Now they have Holy Arrow, which does Charm. Great. And I got a Mitsuru too. At least they're weak to Ice, which is actually very poor timing since Mitsuru is the Ice user. Fukaja. And, oh man, that's gonna hurt Junpei a lot. At least he was able to survive that somehow, despite being stabbed with a sword multiple times. You'd think he'd be filled with holes after that, but somehow that's not the case. It's probably the power of Persona being at work. So I'll take care of these guys with my own Bufu thanks to Jack Frost. Still trying to work on getting Frost to learn the Bufu after all. And one more for you. And now we'll be able to do the AOA. But since Mitsuru's Charm, she will be part of that AOA. Though it doesn't matter. They're all down. Well, only one of them is. At least they're weak. Gonna learn Dia, so that rush thing's not gonna work. Yeah, don't go after Junpei. You weakened him down a bit last time. It's a good thing Charm doesn't carry over after the battle. I think Poison is the only ailment that does that. So once the battle ends, the Charm will wear off automatically, so that's good to know. I believe it's the new enemy, the Adamant Beetle. So this is the small shadow you have to look out for in this Arca section. I don't remember what it's weak to though, so I'll just throw it on Bufu and see where that goes. If I had to guess, it might have some sort of affiliation with, well, I was gonna say with Wind, but it's actually Zio. Nullify Strike and it's strong to Slash. So I'll be sure to switch off to Omoikani when my turn comes around. So Mitsuru's gonna do her part. Now for me to switch off to Owaikade and deliver the punishment onto this very large beetle with a crown on its shell as well. 50 eastbound damage. You see how the AOA performed? Yeah, not that good. Not an instant kill. Wow, we did down that much. At least it has shock though. So be sure to use AOAs repeatedly. In my experience, the beetles in this game can be one of the few enemy creatures that can withstand an AOA pretty effectively. Okay, that didn't work. At least we can get that to work. I think it was actually Pierce that it nullifies, or blocks, not strike. I may have read that wrong. But at least it's longer than shock, we can capitalize on the AOA until it recovers. Oh man, you card took a huge hit there. Yeah, it was Pierce and nullify, so I jumped the gun a bit too much when I switched over to Rush. But it shouldn't be that much of a problem. Hopefully this will weaken it down a little bit more. Okay. Mitsuru's gonna heal Yukari. I thought Yukari's turn was coming up actually. But now Yukari's turns come around. Garu. Somebody's gotta take it down. Can this Aki do it? No, it did. That's surprising. Alright then. I'll just try and slash it just to conserve what little SP I have left. And Mitsuru will finish it off.
The shadows are getting stronger as well.
I was able to get the stat speed up for the sky balance, so here it is in case you were curious.
The enemy's down. Let's finish this. You'll fall by my hand.
And this Mitsuru's battle cries for the AOA.
This appears to be just the beginning.
I'm not sure we actually had this happen yet, but as we can see, one of my party members wasn't able to catch up with the group somehow, so I'll get to show off the request help option. So go to tactics and go to the support option, then hit request help. In just a few turns, Junpei should show up, but it doesn't take that long from what I remember.
I failed to fear not.
And just as I expected, Junpei was able to come in short time. So that's what request help does in case you ever see one of your party members not appear in battle. And shortly after that last battle, Junpei got a level up. So it was very fortuitous we were able to get Junpei to come to that battle when he was not there at the start. Happened twice, huh? Well, at least it was in the same spot. So now we got Inugami. And I believe this is actually a persona, yes, of the Hanged Man Arcana. Something we don't have yet. But who to replace though? That's the big question. I'll get rid of Valkyrie. I haven't actually used it at all, despite having Mabufu. I'm just more focused on trying to get Jack Frost to learn Mabufu. But I want to get this for the compendium, hence why I'm collecting it now. Oh, something inside has changed with Nikki Mitama. It reached level 14. And therefore has learned Medea, which is a multi-healing skill for the entire party, so you know I'll be using that to my advantage very, very soon. That's a very handy skill to have, because we haven't had that skill up until now. And a bit of an update on the Tartarus expedition. Fuka was a little unsure about her previous analyzation, but now we know for sure that the next Tartarus Guardian is on the 47th floor, on floor 50.
Yes!
And another level up for Yukari as well. Alright, we finally hit level 17. This is just what I was looking for. Because the next boss is gonna be pretty tough to take on, but since I'm at level 17, it shouldn't be that much of a problem now.
My skill level has increased.
And Mitsuru has leveled up one more time as well. And just in time too, because we're now at the 47th floor with 3 shadows in the middle. But that's gonna be it for today on Persona 3 FES. We were able to get to the first Guardian floor, and I was actually able to complete one of my requests. I got all 5 bronze figurines off screen, so I'll be sure to trade those in before we completely stop for today. Might as well get that request done and over with. As in, just handing it in to Elizabeth now. And I did get a spare one while I was making my way to floor 47 as well, so I'll have that to sell off when we're done with Tartarus. I see you brought 5 bronze figurines, as I requested. Thank you. The shadows you defeated to obtain them had an affinity for the Fortune Arcana. It's unfortunate that Persona assumed such a ridiculous form. I think it's also unfortunate that you made an unintentional pun, but that's just me. I'll let it slide because you're not aware of it. Oh, we got the Sigma Drive. That's another useful accessory, actually. I think it has something to do with raising our crit rate. So I want to check that out now before we do end off for today. I know I keep saying I want to end things off, but a lot of good stuff just keeps coming up. I want to check that out very quickly. Then, if it's as good as I think it is, I'll have to equip that to somebody off screen. That's gonna be the decision I'll have to make. Lowers chance of sustaining a crit rate. Oh, alright. That's what it does. I usually attach this to myself, to be honest, so I'll be sure to keep that on. So that'll be very helpful for us going forward. And with that being said, we're done for today. So next time on Persona 3 FES, we're gonna take on the first pack of Guardians in this new section of the Arca block. And shortly after, we'll return back to our normal lives to resume social link business. Until we meet again, farewell for now.